Yeah, we got a very special guest today. Could you do me a favor and introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up? My name's Sammy. They know me as Ghost from NightCrawlers gang in South Central. And I'm, here to talk about how, I'm a youngster that got shot and paralyzed by a cop, and how it changed me.
Dope, dope. And I appreciate you for sharing your story with us. Now, I just want to shout out the homie Beaver. Beaver's the one that connected us. Much love.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is to get started from the beginning to find out exactly like what it was that drew you to this lifestyle. You know what I mean? So, how was it for you growing up?
Okay. It was pretty tough. Like I had my stepdad, like, he was always on my ass, like always beating me for, like, small shit, like not taking out the trash,
Mhm.
and just certain things, like, like just, little kid stuff. And so I started from a Big Bear, and I got my tío up there, and he's a sorry about the noise, like I'm still in the hospital, but
No problem.
I got my tío up there, and he's a OG. He's from Harbor City gang.
Yeah,
And I used to go visit him and like stay at his house and stuff. And then so like I got into like a big family issue and like drama up there.
yeah.
And it's pretty tough. Like my stepdad got cracked in the head with a baseball bat.
Damn.
And yeah, and he was launching big old rocks at his homeboy and stuff. So we moved from Big Bear down to LA, Norwalk. And that's when I started meeting like some more immediate family and stuff, that were about it. Though they were like, they were from like, they're from the gangs and stuff, and like they were out there in the streets like going crazy on tweak and stuff.
Damn.
So I started seeing that stuff, and then my grandpa, right, he used to smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
So I would I would do like somersaults and stuff, and into his room while he would be sleeping and stuff, and I'd be stealing his weed,
Yeah.
and I would go with my friends that skateboarded and stuff because I was pretty good at skating too. So we'll go climb up in trees and stuff, and smoke weed. And this was right there in Peaceful Water, Norwalk.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were right there, and that's where I grew up. I grew up in Peaceful, you know,
Yeah.
um, and that's basically where I was supposed to be from, but it didn't work out like that. But sorry to interrupt. Are these yours? No, those are not my clothes, miss. No. No. All right, sorry about that, my boy.
Oh, no problem. Let me ask real quick before I go any further. Do you think the reason why your stepfather uh, took out so much aggression on you was because you weren't his biological son, or was he just angry like that towards everybody?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I could see like that, like I wasn't his biological son, and everything he told me to do, I just look at this fool like, who the fuck are you, homie? Like,
Yeah.
and he would just go haywire on me, and like,
Damn.
but not only that, he used to have a lot of bud, man. So I remember one time it was my birthday, I think, and we were having a party, whatever. I had some friends over. I was a little kid.
Mhm.
This fool had like a pound of weed up in his room.
Yeah.
And I went up in there and I grabbed a fat handful, just fat, and I filled up a fat sandwich bag. It looked like a little pillow. And that fool caught me. And ever since then, it was a wrap. He started whooping my ass, man.
Damn.
But, yeah, yeah, I think so because I wasn't his kid, like, and I was just right there going like, man, like, who are you? Like, you ain't my
Yeah.
dad. He would get to whooping on me, but it is what it is.
Did that ever make you feel like powerless or anything like that? Anger, or any other kind of emotions?
Yeah, yeah, and like, okay, so how like in YA, like like fools get punked on and stuff, or even in the halls and like campo, like they get punked on and like they put their head down, and they're lame, they're leva,
Yeah.
like, well, that's kind of like what my stepdad used to make me feel. He used to make me feel bad, like he'd get up in my face, and I was a little kid. This guy's like, he's like 30 something,
Yeah.
and I would put my head down and shit, and that shit made me feel. I don't like using the B word, but it made me feel like a little bitch.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, when we moved from Big Bear, and then we went down to right there in Peaceful Hood, um man, it was tough, like I I started tag banging. I went to a school. I remember I was going to I was going to Lakeside Middle School, because I got kicked out of Lake Center. But I
Hmm.
was going to Lakeside, and I got caught with a Gatorade bottle full of weed,
Damn.
and I stole all that shit from my grandpa. But because we'll go to school and we kick it at lunch and we be getting high at school.
Yeah, blazing
You know?
out and shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah, and fucking so we'd be right there getting high at school, and one of the fools got caught. He got caught with like a pipe and a lighter and some other shit. This fool snitched on me.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, and then so they pull up into the class, and I'm already paranoid. I'm stoned, and so I remember the gym teacher walks in talking about like they go to the teacher and like whisper something in her ear, and I'm like, oh shit, and I got a Gatorade bottle full of weed in my backpack,
Yeah.
and so I take it out of my backpack and I put it on my waistline, but I'm like, fuck, and then so I put it up inside the desk, and then she pulled out the desk and started talking shit to me, and she pulled out a Gatorade bottle full of weed. And I was just like, man, like, don't fuck, I'm gonna whoop my ass. So I started going to a school called Franklin CDS,
Okay.
and that was in Jamestown,
Oh
and
shit, all the way up there.
yeah, right there in West Whittier,
Oh
and
okay. Oh, okay. I know.
that's where my Whittier life started. Ever
Yeah.
like ever since I went to school right there up in Whittier, I used to get punked on a lot though. You know what I mean? And I used to get punked on a lot. It was a trip. And because like like I came from Big Bear, so I was just like a skater and like a snowboarder. I wasn't about like tag banging and gang banging. So like I didn't even know about that stuff. I mean, I knew about my uncle. He would tell me about the prison stories of like San Quentin because he was like one of the first people to step on the level 4 yard. Like because he got convicted for like for a few murders and stuff. Back then when you could get convicted and still come out like
Like
10 years
7 years
later.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I didn't know nothing about this stuff. So my first year at the school, at the continuation, now I'm getting slapped around like like a leva, and these fools they're laughing at it. So they're making me go into the back of the bungalows, and they're making me go bodies, and
Yeah.
they're making me get down. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm doing this. And so I started getting my hands up and stuff. And then so after that, like back in Norwalk, so going through the summer, I wasn't going to school or nothing. I kinda got tired of getting beat up. But
Yeah.
so I started my own tagging crew called FAM, and they called me Nightmare. But I started getting low down. I started doing like little beer runs, bottle runs, for the crew, and we were
Yeah.
jumping in crew members in my grandpa's backyard.
Damn.
And then that fool be sleeping, so we're like, fuck it, we're gonna jump this fool in. And we're just a tagging crew though.
Yeah.
But so we started doing that and shit. But like, so my little section of my crew ended up getting jumped into Nightcrawlers, and since I was like the third main head, and it was me and my boy, my road dog Shadow,
Yeah.
and we I remember we were kicking with the big homies and stuff, cause I'd be right there in peaceful, so I started getting low down. Like we started stealing cars. I
Yeah.
remember the homie from Lil One Southside Gangsters, homeboy, he was like, "It's your birthday." It was my birthday one night, and I was like, "Yeah, we're getting drunk in right there in Peaceful Hood, in front of the apartments right there down the street from a shopping goal."
Yeah.
And I'd stay out there like all night, but it was late.
Yeah.
And I remember we were getting drunk right there, and then so the homie was like, was cracking like, I'm gonna teach you little fools how to steal a car, and I'm right there with my boy Slow Mo, and like we're like, all right. So we're running around and shit. We're trying, we're opening up the car doors and like, what's up with it? And then boom, this crazy ass motherfucker, we see him hop up inside a van, and we're like, oh shit, it's going on. So we turn around and start walking away, like, fuck it, this was gonna pull up on us for sure.
Yeah.
And straight, he turned on the van, bam, and you hear these fools fucking, like gassing it, come around, they swoop me up for my birthday, and shit, we're out there mobbing it around for my birthday and G ride. And from that moment on, that's when I knew what I got myself into.
Yeah.
And I was already future from the hood, so I was like, fuck it, like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to show these big homies, show these homies they're with. They got tattoos on their head and shit in their face, like, I need to show him down with it.
What do you think
So,
it was that drew you toward them? Because it's like I know you're getting beat up by your stepfather. Then you said you also had fights in the school. Would you think it was a protection, or you think it was them like looking out for you like that, like showing a kind of love and admiration that nobody else showed? Like, what do you think it was?
well, to be honest, for them, it was like, all right, cause I remember I being placement and stuff, and I remember on my home pass one time, I left the pad. I was like, fuck that shit. I left the pad and went to the hood,
Yeah,
and the homies were talking about let's go Nas it. So we go Nas it, and then I remember we're getting drunk, and and we got a homie from Florence right there too. Like when he sticking with the hood, that's cool. But I
yeah,
known this dude from Florence too for a long time already. Before he was even from the hood, like from drug class when I was like 11.
yeah,
And I remember he brought out the cazadores, he brought out the vodka, and I was getting maxed out.
yeah,
And I'll never forget this. My big homie, uh, one of the big homies that jumped me in my hood. I'm right there. I'm right there in the hood apartments. But see, we're in Norwalk, and but we originate from South Central. It's kind of like we kind of expanded. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so I'm right there in Norwalk though, and Peaceful said, but we took a section of that. So and Peaceful ain't happy about that, but like not to get on that subject, but so I'm right there and I'm shit faced drunk, homie, and like I'm throwing up all over myself and I'm sitting down on the floor like, and I'll never forget this. My big homie comes out and he's like, "Fuck, fool, like you're fucked up, like don't trip. I'm gonna go see what's up and see what's up. My headphone on the pad and stuff, and you know, you ain't gonna be out here like that." So I remember he left and he told his little brother to watch me. I was like,
yeah,
all right, cool. And let alone like I'm kind of like an outsider, homie. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I barely got something in the hood. I'm finally doing juvenile hall time, whatever. And I'm on a home page, and so I'm right there drunk, slapping. God damn, homie.
That's cool though.
Anyway,
We still here.
and, since, uh,
No
and
problem.
so the homie came out and picked me up.
Hmm.
He picked me up and stuff, and when he picked me up and he took me into his pad, even though I kind of like threw up on the floor and stuff, I threw my money on my pocket and threw it on the floor. But like it was the sense of the feeling that the homie came and got me.
Yeah,
Like they accepted me. And they and that like for my family not being there, cause like my mom would let my stepdad, handle me and stuff like that, and in a demeanor that should have never took place. And then, what I mean, I got the homies right here, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, if I act stupid, like I speak or whatever, like, yeah, I get my ass whooped. Or I didn't go to school, I get my ass whooped. But for the most part, like, they love me. And
yeah,
like, they would have their open arms, like, don't trip, yo, canalito, we got you.
yeah,
So I'll be like, all right, cool. So so that was mainly it. That's what really attracted me was knowing that I got a dominant group of people that are that go and tag and stuff, like kind of start getting into that. But like it's not even about tagging, like we're tagging up the threats after when we're tagging, and I had to learn all that too. But that knowing that I had that group of people that took me in, and we're like, all right, this little homie's going right for us, we're going right for him too, and we got him.
yeah,
There was that sense of feeling like, all right, it's my family right here.
yeah. Hell yeah. No, definitely, I understand. And let me ask, how was it when you started going to jail? Being from your hood.
Okay, all right. So, all right, so I was already like future by like
Hmm.
12,
Yeah,
right? So I was already future by like 12, and I mean, they told me like, all right, you could already claim it and stuff, you could. And so we already, and then we got packed out into the hood.
Yeah.
My road dog and I side by side, and then so after that, um, like right after we got packed out into the hood, I already had been put on probation and stuff for like vandalism and stuff, and uh, and then bam, I got put on house arrest. Well, first when I got put on that probation for that vandalism, I was going into probation school like Visions Learning Center. I got kicked out in 2 weeks because of my gang attire.
Damn.
Um, they took me to the Norwalk CA. I
Yeah.
got kicked out during my intake because I got in a fight with some fool from neighborhood. We right when we see each other, we uh we flared up and just took flight on each other. Boom.
Yeah.
And then that was during my intake, so I didn't even get make it into the school. And then so after that, I had 2 more weeks until court, and I was like, man, fuck it, I'm not in school. I'm gonna just get tweaked out and fucking steal cars with the homie.
Yeah.
And so that's what that was my get down. That's what I was doing, and that's when I started getting locked up. I got locked up, and I remember the first time I get locked up, I go into the unit, and my home unit was EF on the F side, right there in Los Padrinos.
Yeah.
And so I remember going up in there, but then there's a I think it's CD where you have to go in, and that's the unit where they're gonna figure out which unit you're gonna go to.
What's
You know,
AB, right?
yeah, it's like well AB they turned that one into the girls unit I think,
Okay.
and then oh it was I think it was like it goes from LNM, but LNM was that's the no good unit, and then I know what you're talking about though, and then that was like back in the day. But then it was I think CD the CD unit they made a lot of the CD and LM like a reception unit,
Okay.
and so I go right there and I'm like I'm a little kid. I go up in there, boom, and then like I remember I walk up to go like they wake me up, and I walk up and I go get my toothbrush and I'm ready to hit my grill, and I remember looking into the day room and you got a day room full of fools that already been locked up, they already been doing their thing. And I'm a little ass kid, and they're like, "Shit, we got a new booty, miss. That's a new booty right there." And I was like, "New booty? What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
I go hit my grill real quick, and then I go back down, and then it took me up to my next unit,
Hmm.
and then I get to my next unit, and it's sounding cracky. Right when I hit my next unit, which is EF side, right there, right when I hit the day room, everybody's banging. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Everybody's banging, and like I'm right there. I'm right there banging the hood. I'm like, I'm Ghost Spot from Nightcrawlers, and the homies like, I remember there was homies from Flores, from your hood. There was homies from Eastside Paramount. There was homies from Dog Pace. There was homies from a gang of different hoods. And it was cracking. I remember homie from Eastside Paramount. He got into it with some fool from Hoover's, black fools, and then they rushed that fool and they got into like a little came into like a little rumble on the field right there playing
Yeah.
kickball. That shit was cracking. And it was just a trip. But EF was like my dominant unit. That was the one unit that I always went to every time I went to jail.
Yeah.
When I got a little bit older though, but I went to all those units. I went to Central. I went to Barry J. I seen that compound. And I seen a lot of that stuff, and I went to Campo. Campo was cracking. I was at Muns. I
Hmm.
stayed at Muns in Mendenhall, but Muns, I was right there with one of your little homies. I don't know if you know him, but like he has EMF, or he has got EM with the three dots, and he's got F on his side. His name Lil Ray Ray. He's got EMF on his stomach.
No, I never met him.
But that shout out to that. He
Not
was the
much love.
quartermaster. Yeah, that was my boy right there. And then same with Lil Rojo. That was my boy too right there. But yeah, and camp was a trip too, cause you go in and it's a big old dorm,
Yeah.
and I'm tripping out in there. I'm like, what? Like, what's up with it? But then I'm already kind of like educated with this stuff, because I've already been in the halls. At
Yeah.
first, I was whatever, I was going like, fools would take flight on me, and boom, we get it in and go to the box. But it got to the point where like every fool that banged on me, I just take flight because I didn't know if they were trying to take flight on me or not. So I would just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take flight on this one.
Yeah.
And I start going like high risk, I guess, because like especially from all the years from getting beat up, I was like, I came up in here with the attitude like I ain't getting beat up. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
And so that was my get down, like take flight, like buddy. And I didn't know knucklehead, and we'd be right there getting high up in the halls and stuff. And camp too, it was cool, getting high up in there and stuff. But camp was a trip, cause then also be like, what's up? Let's go toes. We go run around the back and stuff, cause at ROP camp, run your own program.
Yeah.
You get that, and go back there, get it in, go toes. Or the homie up from your hood, slide up in the quartermaster and get it in,
Yeah.
and it's cool. Or we'll be drinking like hand sanitizer, trying to get drunk, like But it was a trip though, and like in the compound, that shit was even worse though. That shit was like seeing that shit, and then especially when I seen the homie too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm here, G.
Okay, okay, but yeah, and then seeing like I remember the homie. He's still in prison right now. He's doing a triple life sentence.
Damn.
Yeah, and he's like his older brother from the hood, but that fool didn't get from the hood until like I was already active from the hood.
Yeah.
And I was already like I was already in it, like we're handling things, and we're doing the stuff dizzle. But the homie, it surprised me too, because he got into the hood, and some stuff happened with the bribery, and some fools got at him,
Damn.
and he went back and got at him too or whatever. But he ended up getting. I remember seeing him in the compound. He went Y1, and I just popped out my arm from fighting. Well, first it was from I fell out of a tree in camp,
Ah,
and like
shit.
idiot, yeah, like an idiot. I was trying to. I told the homie he was from a tagging crew in Compton, but I told him I bet you I could climb up the tree and catch the highest spot. And so my dumb ass ran up the tree and flipped out and like popped out my arm and shit.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, that shit was bad, man. So I pop out my arm like an idiot. I go to the medical mount right there in Central,
Yeah.
and then fucking I'm right there resting up. And I came back and I got in a fight and popped it out. You know what I
Damn.
mean? I popped out some foot from Playboys, and then so I'm right there I'm right there in Barry J doing the hunt, and I see the homie at the compound right there and shit. And he told me like, yeah, they got me for attempted murder, G. I was like, damn. And fucking I remember that, and like he wasn't even banging that long. He was a good kid. Like
Yeah.
he had some decent grades and stuff. I used to go to school with this guy. And then, they're talking about like, that he got attempted murder. And I'm like, fuck. So I already know. And he's about to be 18, so they shot that fool straight off to the county.
Damn.
They didn't even send him to the Y. And yeah, he ended up getting a triple life sentence,
Damn.
gang enhancement, gun enhancement, and all that. But it sucks because that's the boy. I'll never see him again. I can only
Yeah.
talk to him and stuff over the phone, but like I'll never see him again.
Damn.
And he's young. He's my age. I just turned 24. He's probably like 25. But you know what I mean. And hold on, hold on. You know what I mean. But it's a trip because I mean, like all you guys, I've watched all your guys' interviews and stuff. Like, well, not all of them, but most of them. Like, I watched yours. I watched uh 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 uh, Lil Porter, no,
Who?
Porter,
Oh, Potro?
yeah, Potro.
Yeah.
So I watched his. I watched Beavers, and like I'm hearing you guys is like like you guys are like the last of the Mohican. Like you guys,
Yeah.
you guys are like you guys are straight up some gladiators. You know what I mean? And like I was hearing all that stuff, and I'm like it's taking it gave me a mad flashback to like going like to the halls, eating Russian foods and just being active
Yeah.
and it reflected on me and stuff and I looked up to that stuff and I was like, man, like these guys are doing interviews, like I mean I'm young and stuff, I don't got a lot to say, but like how can I get interviewing? And I just remember watching that and I followed Beaver. Shout out to Beaver.
I much like a beaver.
Yeah, I shout out to Beaver and I watched his American Cholo interview.
Mhm.
He's talking about just going ham in the Y, and I'm like, damn, like, and I'm like, I'm right there thinking about, from my little tiempo in there and stuff, and I'm like, fuck, and all that Spencer con permiso.
Yeah.
It'd be like the county in here, it's always loud, but yeah, so and then I ended up following him on the IG and stuff, and he shot me out to you, so I
Yeah.
want to say big time gracias, for shooting this time.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Much love. Yeah. And let me ask. So you did mention that you were, you know, engaging in substance abuse with crystal meth. How long did you do that?
Oh damn. Since I all right, so since I was 12 years old, my boy,
Damn.
yeah, you know what I mean. I was right there rocking it. You know what I mean. It's nothing to be proud about, but it's just it's just what happens. Like I remember I went to a party and I always kicked it with people that were older than me.
Yeah.
It, I couldn't kick it with somebody that was my age or younger than me because it made me feel like not lame, but it just made me feel like
Like
it
they're
made
little
me feel like
kids.
yeah, like a little kid, and I'm
Mhm.
over here like a little kid dressing all banged out, wearing 50 by 50s, and like you know what I mean, with a big old like 5XL top pro club, like I'm bald head, like got my rag hanging, like I'm trying to kick it with the big homies so I could learn something.
Yeah.
So like whenever I get in the play zone, I could run that,
Yeah.
or at least I thought I could, and so I would do that, and I would run with that. I would run with it to the fullest, and I tried to learn as much as I could from my big homies, and not only my big homies, but like wherever I went, I always, you know, carried myself, to the fullest extent of being respectful and common courtesy and mutual respect. Even with my enemigos,
Yeah.
I'll still shake their hand and be like, "What's up with it?" They call me Ghost Man C. And sometimes they be cool with it, sometimes they take flight on me, or it'll be vice versa. But yeah, like that's just how it be, and the people was always there, and when I went to that party, and the homie Spanky, he was a wonder, he was a resident, but yeah, we got high for the first time. He's out. I told him, he's like, oh, I'll be getting. I told him, can't spend the night at your pad. He's like, yeah, but I'm gonna be getting high right there, fool. I don't know if you do that. And I was like, what, smoke some bud? And he was like, nah, my boy, I'm gonna be tweaking it. And I was like, well, fuck it, fool, let's tweak it then. Let's do this. And I didn't know how to rock the mic, so he was rocking the mic for me and everything, whatever. And like I was getting high. And ever since that, boom, I was down. I was on. I was getting high, looking up in cars. I used to. One thing I used to do a lot was I mean, I'm not proud to say it, but I'd be all messed up in the head, and I'm over there running around. Like I would even take my mom's car, and I even totaled a couple of them.
Damn.
Yeah, and I would go take my mom's car, go strike up the enemy's hood, and think I'm doing big things when I'm really just putting myself in the bubble.
Yeah. Let me
And
ask. Because it wasn't that shit
uh,
was it was out there when I was a kid, but it wasn't big like it is now. Was did that become like just part of the gang culture during your days? Like was that just so common that like everybody was using it, or was it just specific people?
well, okay, so I like that you asked that because from my understanding back in the day, it was like all about the caddies,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we used to
like
smoke a lot of
$3.
dogs like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the dogs and the big homies too. Like, see, when I was growing up, they'd be like I remember my first dog, and yeah, we smoked the first dog and stuff, it was whatever, I kind of got like all panico and stuff, and like my mouth got numb, and I was like, that shit pretty bomb. But it was only like a 30-minute high.
Yeah.
So the booth, though, the big homies didn't know I was tweaking it. You know what I mean? But I would show up to the hood skinny and more skinny,
Damn.
and these fools would be like, "Hey, fool, why are you so skinny for, dog?" And I'll be like, "See, I'm just running around, I'm a youngster, homie. Like, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just young. That's it, like, I would try to use that as my cover up, but these fools are boofing it too, so like they already know what's up.
Yeah.
But I'm the little homie. They ain't trying to, get at me sideways. That's what we got enemies for. But so they would tell me that, and I'll be like, man, well, like, and I would be nervous, like, fuck, this was gonna fuck me up because I'm boofed out, but I would kind of hide it. So yeah, and then so it was mainly like kind of like the older homies that kind of already knew about it,
Yeah.
and they were already on it. So they would be like, yeah, fuck, like we're doing it, but like that was in the shadows, though. That was like in the locked rooms, where little homies couldn't go, and like we'd be outside, trying to do our thing, and the OGs would be right there getting their rock on. So I mean, it was cool, but it got to the point where these fools already found out I was getting high. They were checking me for it, and I didn't really care about that. I was just like, fuck it, whatever. I'm getting checked. I
Yeah.
take my ass whipping, whatever, ball up, whatever, and then bounce and go get on one again. And then it got to the point where they were like, you know what, fuck it. This was getting high, you know, just like, they told me, like, just, you can get high with us, fool, but don't get all fucked up and shit. And if the little homies ask you, don't,
Yeah.
you don't tell them shit, homie, like, and it was like that. It was like, don't tell them anything. It was like that, kind of keep you on the hush mode.
And I always tell everybody that do as you say, not as I do, or do as I say, not as I do. That shit never works. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, that shit,
yeah,
that shit
because
just
they could
makes it
tell you, nah,
hilarious.
don't do this, and then they're out here getting high. Like that shit. I mean, that shit's not gonna change your perception of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for real. And now go ahead, Spencer.
I was gonna ask, did you end up becoming like addicted to it?
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, we'll get into that. Okay, so for like the past 5 years of my life, right? Cause okay, so I turned 18, and like I wasn't all maxed out, like kind of like how you guys were and stuff, but I I uh I just got done doing another camp program, but it was a success camp, because I already been through so many camp programs, and fighting all the like these other stupid cases that I'd be catching, and it was Camp David Gonzalez in Calabasas, and I got out, and I was doing all right, like I mean I messed up. I sold my identity for like $300,
Damn.
and then yeah,
You sold your own
and then
identity?
I got yeah like that for a little bank lick or whatever, and I got $300. I got my like a pair of Cortezes, and I bought a cell phone because my mom wouldn't buy me one. So I
That's
was like,
crazy because
fuck
you
it,
probably didn't even
whatever.
understand the value of your identity at that point, and you're making that decision.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm like, I'm like, I'm over here doing some dumb stuff, but
Yeah.
like it's the barrio life. That's all I'm saying. Barrio life. So what, homie? I'm gonna go to jail anyways. I'm gonna end up doing life or I'm gonna die. So
Damn.
like I care less about this identity. Like like when I go to prison, it's like I ain't gonna need that shit in there. So I'm like, fuck it,
Yeah.
you know. And that was my mentality was, I'm gonna go to prison. I ain't tripping, homie. Like and it was, it's dumb to think like that because prison ain't the place to be and stuff like that. In county and I don't know. It was just a trip. So I started working. I got my first job,
Yeah.
right? I got my first job, and I got my first job, and I started working at a warehouse, man. And it was right there in the end of Southside Whittier. It was on Shoemaker, and it
Okay.
was called Kimco or MVP. It switched into MVP, and I was working right there. I was working right there for a little bit. You know, I did my first taxes right there and stuff. I was like 18, going 19, working there,
Yeah.
and and you know, and so I'm right there working and stuff, and you know, I'm feeling good about myself, getting my little paychecks, and I was actually sober for like 8 9 months. I was just smoking whack,
Yeah.
and then I remember I got fired off of one department, and I went to another department, and then right there it was kind of like a night shift, so the homie, you know, he was right there doing lines and shit,
Damn.
and he passed me off the bag. And I would go to the restroom and hit it tough, you know. He would be like, just roll up a piece of paper, stick it in the bag, and you know, however much you could take it. And I would snort it, bam, and I come out all, you know, all over the place. And it sucks because my stepdad, whatever, like he, I came home from work one night,
Yeah.
and he was, you know, he was all bad, you know, he was all drunk, and it was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I pulled like a 14-hour shift, and he kind of, you know, he was getting up in my face or whatever, and but this is where I got kicked out though, and my mom came out, she tried stopping it, whatever, and he was gonna put hands on my mom, so I hopped up and put my Cortezes on, and I was like, "What's up, G?" Like back up from my headphone, and that fool came in and charged at me, so I started mollywopping him. I started bouncing his head off the counter.
Damn.
I started bouncing his head off the arm of the couch and
That your
smashing his face.
was that your first time ever really fighting him?
Yeah, that was the first time ever really fighting my stepdad. Like after all the years of him whooping my ass and like me going in and out the halls and camp and just going live and shit, you know, and doing my thing and you know and getting my court in with the hood and you know thugging out with the homies. That was my first time fighting him. So it felt good, you know, it felt good, you know, beating him up and making him look like a lever,
Yeah.
you know, and so I handled that. I was enjoying that shit. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm bouncing his head off the fucking the arm of the couch, and you know I'm smashing his face in the floor, and fucking you know I'm just going to town on him.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah, my little brother and sister watching me. I'm like, you know, and as I'm like smashing his whole face in the floor, I'm telling my little brother and sister, "Hey, go get your bags. You're going to grandma's. You know, like don't trip. Like just go to school and you know do good." And damn, so we start you know resting whatever after that. And like I take off out the crib and you know that was all fucked up. So I take off out the crib, and and it was funny because like I stayed inside the apartment complex in Carmela Barrio Loco,
Yeah.
and so I leave the apartment complex, and there was a church right next to the apartment complex. So I went straight to the church, and I laid down on the bench, and that's where I fell asleep and woke up the next morning. And and so I would stay in the back of my mom's car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she would throw me pillows and stuff. And then one night I went there and the car wasn't there.
Damn.
And I'm like, oh shit, like what the fuck? So I go over to the apartment because I know how to break in and stuff. And I go into the apartment, I pop the window open, and there's no furniture.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's no furniture. There's brand new carpet on the floor, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, homie, like, what the fuck? You know, like, what the fuck? Like, and I don't have a phone at this time though because my phone's broken. So I'm working right now trying to get my stuff together, but like they're gone.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk to my mom for like 5 months right there. And I finally get a phone. I buy myself a brand new phone, and I hit my mom up, and I'm like, "What's up, mom? Like, where you at? You don't stay over here in Norwalk no more, or what?" And she's like, "We moved out of state."
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "Yeah, we moved up north. Like we're up here in Colorado." And I'm like, "Oh, West, and like I'm stuck over here in the southeast Los Angeles, and they're up in the Colorado Rockies." I'm like, "Fuck, homie."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm right here by myself, though. I'm like, and I'm banged out, though. You know what I mean? And I got the mentality of what I think is, sureño, just putting in work and just, being gangster. And so I'm going to work and I'm struggling, homie. And I remember this shit, so struggling and yeah, I'm getting high here and there, and the job and stuff. We go in the restaurant and start smoking the flu, and then come out and start throwing boxes on Ross like
Damn.
crazy. And I started kicking with this one homeboy and stuff, and he would take me back like towards his pad, but like this fool's a mad boofer though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we call it. We call it boofing, And so it's for a mad boofer. But I am too though, I ain't gonna lie, but whenever I get boofed out, I go put in work. I like, it's that
Yeah.
adrenaline rush. But this was just like getting boofed out and continue boofing and like, like being shacked up and shit.
Damn.
Yeah, and so that kind of got stuck with me. And it's funny because this fool, I got together with some girls, some Pakistani hyena,
Yeah.
and I got busted with the. All right, so I got busted with the machete, right?
Yeah.
But at this time, I'm boofed out. I'm boofed out, and this fool in the meanwhile, like this fool. All right, so I had bought my first car, and from working, and I thought it was cool. I bought me a Nissan Altima GXC, like a 1996,
Yeah.
it's not small, and I'm getting boofed out with this fool, dog, and I get busted with I get my car taken away, and cause like it broke down over in Norwalk and stuff, so I get my
Damn.
car taken away. I was staying right there in the hood, my hood apartments in Norwalk,
Yeah.
and I'm right there getting whacked out, homie. I'm getting, boofed out, but I'm patrolling the hood apartment, and I'm strapped up and I'm twacked out, G, and
Damn.
just like up to no good. And somebody that is holding a gun and they're under the influence of methamphetamine, that's a horrible mixture, G.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you already know it's so like when you're just holding something, period. But like being under the influence of methamphetamines, man, like yeah, it's tough, homie. It is really tough. And so I'm right there patrolling and stuff, whatever. I got my car taken and stuff, and then just some scandalous shit happening. And so I go back up to the dub. That's where my coworker was working at, the one that was just like straight boofing all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm right there on the dub. I'm right there on Painter Block in Brown Brotherhood
Okay.
and Weird USA and like Southside Whittier. Right across the street from the Whittier DMV.
All right.
But see, I had previously grown up in Whittier too, though, from that Franklin CDS school in Jamestown.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a trip, Holmes. And I'm right there, getting boofed out on the block.
Damn.
And I'm like, it's like 3 in the morning, and I got my paño on my head and fucking my hat, and I'm fucking twacked out. I got the pookie hanging up the side of my hat, like just doing the extras, and like I think it's cool and stuff, but it's not. That's just a
So let me
little.
ask, because that is something that I think is strange. So like at that point in your life, you felt that like using meth was cool. Like that was like, hell yeah, look at me. I'm not trying to put you down or anything. I'm just wondering, like for real,
Yeah, to be
like that's
honest, I did.
that's a trip.
I really did. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like,
Yeah.
cause like, okay, well, I already know what it's like to be carrying a gun and like, let it off and blast at people. I already know what that's like. I've been doing it,
Yeah.
but like tweaking it and just being all boofed out, running around and like, like trying to get with whatever hand I get with, like, all maniac and shit. Like, yeah, like I thought that shit was cool for a second, G.
Damn.
I did. Like, I ain't gonna lie about that. I'll keep it gangster with you. I really did.
Yeah.
And then I got caught with the machete, but look at check this out. So I'm together with this hyena, right? And it's crazy because I got her shit tatted, homie. I got her initials tatted and then the anniversary on my wrist and everything.
Yeah.
And I got this in Supermax. and fucking, I got her shit tatted, but little this fool that I'm like going on mad boofer missions with. This fool is fucking my bitch, though.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And like I'm like, I'm thinking this fool's my camarada. I think this fool's like, we'll get boofed out and we'd literally go walk around and just look for somebody to fuck with.
Let,
We'd
let me
look for
ask.
somebody.
Let me ask this. This is a question that I think is very important. When it comes to the relationship, did she also use meth?
Okay, so she was very against it, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, she had, like, like we would talk a lot, especially before we even got together, and she would tell me shit like, that she used to be like a hoe or whatever, or like, like her
Yeah.
ex boyfriend was pimping her and stuff, and like me,
Damn.
I ain't with that pimping stuff, like, and I mean, I'm a lover boy, you know what I mean? Like if I get in a relationship with somebody, I'm with them, you
Yeah.
know. It might be a little gangster, cause I'm strapped up and I got the homies to report to and stuff like that, and they gotta understand that, and I might go to jail, but I still love them. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm out here fucking every girl that I see. Like
Yeah.
I'm with you, but nah, she wasn't really doing meth like that. Not in my eyes, but I picked up a fat stack one time in the hood,
Yeah.
and I weighed. Oh, I didn't weigh them out, but I bought it because I had a lot of dough. I spent like a bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I weighed out 25 dubs. You know what I mean? So, well, I bought it, and that's a lot of dubs. I could make like 5 bills out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I remember I would run outside to go sling a sack, and I came back in, and I had like a bag put to the side, one bag, so I
Yeah.
could get my little snort on, whatever, and just stay high. And I go up inside the shower, and like I'm thinking like, all right, she doesn't know I got my stack inside the shower and taking a playa. I'm like, I'm gonna get my little snort on. So when I walk out the shower, I'm the only one that's supposed to be, like sniffling and stuff. I come out the shower, the bitch is sniffling too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck no, homie. I go up under the air conditioner, I whip out my pill jar, and I whip out all my sacks. I'm missing a sack, homie. And that's when it hit me. I was like, this bitch took a sack of my, from all my sacks. Like,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
fucking with my money.
And the reason I asked that is
So
because uh I would assume part of the reason why she ended up being with that guy is because, like you said, he had a gang of dope. You know what I mean? So fucking a lot of the times it's
yeah,
like if people are in desperate situations, they're like, ah, fuck it, I'm gonna go with the money guy. This is the guy that keeps the motherfucking bread buttered. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And and like that's why like I can't hate, homie. You know what I mean? I can't hate, that they together or whatever. Like, that's cool. It's just how I got done
Yeah,
did, like, because I got caught with the machete, and so I'm kicking with homeboy, right? But this was telling me like, hey, because I hooked him up with a homegirl, with her homegirl, because I'm over here thinking like, damn, this was fucking my bitch. But if I give him a homegirl, then he gonna stop fucking my bitch. Hell nah. So I'm at the McDonald's. I'm paying her across the street from the Burger King in Whittier and Brown Brotherhood, and and I got a machete on my waist, a big ass machete with the teeth on top and shit.
yeah,
And so this fool's all like, "Oh, my lady's coming full, but your lady's not coming." But in my head, I'm thinking like, man, bullshit, because my lady always comes with your lady to come see what the fuck I'm doing.
yeah,
Um, I'm over here thinking, I'm like, man, whatever. So this fool leaves, and then like 15 minutes later, Whittier PD comes in. First, the motorcycle cop comes in, and he's got an AR-15 pointed at my face.
yeah,
And I'm like, I sit up in the seat because I'm about to go smoke a cigarette. And I sit up in the seat, and this was got an AR-15 pointed at my face. And I'm like, oh shit. So I like, I kind of like melted back in the seat.
yeah,
And then all of Whittier PD came crashing in on me and inside of McDonald's. And I'm like, fuck. And then so I'm like, what's up? Like, what you guys want? And they're like, where's the gun at? And I'm like, what gun? They're like, yeah, where's the shotgun at? And I was like, shotgun? They're like, yeah, we got a confidential payphone phone call
God damn.
saying that there's somebody with a shotgun in their shorts banging on families, throwing it. And I'm like, fuck that shit. I told him, all I got is a machete, homie. I ain't got no shotgun. And fucking, so they told me to kick my feet out, and they picked me up and slammed me on the floor. And then, that's my first time Supermax. They hit me with Supermax. I got a county lid, nothing major. Felony formal probation, 3 years joint suspension with 85%. So I signed that off, whatever. I took that, but it's fucked up because I'm getting taken away in the cop car, right?
Yeah.
And I got like two more cop cars following me up to Whittier PD station. And I look right there at Kennedy Park behind the Whittier Quad, and I look and I see the homeboy right there. You know what I mean? And then I see my hyena,
Damn.
and I see the other homegirl, and I'm right there in the car. I'm in the cop car, like you shot that homie. You know what I mean? Like all right. And still to this day, they together.
Damn.
Yeah, it's fucked up, homes. But I mean, I ain't tripping,
Yeah.
but
Do you
yeah,
think part of the reason you allowed that to happen? Because I know you said you got him another girl, so he would stop being with your girl. Do you think part of the reason you allowed that to happen is because you were on drugs? Because I know if like I'm not judging you again, but if that's some shit like that were to happen to me, then I would just say, farewell to both of you guys. That's on you guys. You know what I mean? Like I'm out of here. Like I don't need to stick around for this shit. You know what I mean? But for you, do you just think, or is it the fact that you were maybe looking for love? Is that what caused you to stay there?
um yeah, cause like like I didn't really have like the family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
all I had was my barrio,
yeah,
and let alone I'm staying in Whittier, and like my neighborhood goes at with almost every Whittier hood.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I grew up in Whittier, so it's like I know everybody from every hood. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So, but it's tough though, cause my neighborhood, like I said, my neighborhood goes there with every hood in Whittier. So it's like, fuck, I'm staying in my enemy city, but I grew up right here, so it's kind
yeah,
of twisted. But um, but yeah, I was kind of like stuck on love or whatever. I'm like, fuck, homie, like and but it was funny though because I ain't gonna lie, homie. Like I already had the feeling and the thinking in my head that she's fucking around on me, G. You know what I mean? And like
yeah,
she's cheating on me and shit. And then I always see it between her and this vato or whatever. So I ain't gonna lie, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really care because I was already on my movida.
yeah,
I already knew what's cracking, so I'll be out there on the block boofed out. But hey, I mean, just because I'm boofed out doesn't mean I ain't trying to get at the next fine hinder that I see. So I would,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I see a fine hinder walking down the block, I'll pull up, all banged out like, hey, what's up, girl? What's cracking? Yes, how you doing? Where you going? Like, what's up with you? Start spending the game or whatever, thinking I'm a playboy, and shit, more than half the time I get them. So even though they were fucking around, whatever, like I had my shit going.
yeah,
And I ain't gonna lie about that. I always say I was together with some beautiful women right there. Even though I'm kind of young, but still they were beautiful. I was even getting together with girls that were like 30,
yeah,
35, and I'm 20, 21, 22, and like I'm trying to push that. But I'm a knucklehead, but
yeah,
yeah, I was like stuck in love and stuff like that. But I got stuck on the block going Whittier, and yeah, I turned into a tecato,
damn.
and I
Uh,
was yeah, I was doing a full pull breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was doing a full pull slam of white,
damn.
and yeah, I was bad, homie. I was slamming and shit, and fucking. I get all slammed out, go up in the store, steal some shit, and then give back to everybody on the train track that didn't have nothing, and I stay fly. But I would always have my sack too, and so like I got so bad to the point where I would have syringes already made up at a full pull, and then I would take a rubber band and tie them around, and then I would shove it in my sock, and I
Yeah,
would run around with a whole bunch of syringes that were already made, ready, to slam and shit.
damn. And how long did that keep going?
Okay, so just twisting the pipa, I was right there. That was for 5 years flat. But slamming and shit, I got into slamming bad for about three and a half years.
Damn. What made you stop?
To be honest, getting shot.
All right, let's get into that now. Let's get into the. So, could you break down the details of behind what got you where you are today?
Yeah, yeah. Most definitely. So I remember this. I was right there in Quiet Village, and I was staying right there in the West Whittier, and cause I grew up right there. I grew up in Quiet Village
Yeah,
over at my boys' pad, and we'll go party right there and stuff. Cause my mom was always kicking me out, so I'd go party right there and stuff. And so I already knew Whittier, and I already knew people out there. So I was staying in the West, and my ex from Southside Whittier gang, she pierced my lip right here. So I went up to her pad one day because I was already kind of irritated with everybody. They're all doing their scanning and shit. Somebody took my shit or whatever. So I'm like, fuck this shit.
yeah,
And I went up to her pad because my lip was swollen. So I was trying to get a hoop. And so I walk up there. She wasn't there. And so I go back down right across the street from the Whittier Courthouse. And I'm on the top level though, and the parking structure across the street from the courthouse, but it's like right next to the skate park.
yeah.
And I'm tweaking it, whatever. I'm getting my smoke on, and I'm just thinking to myself, like right there, like fuck, like what am I doing with myself? Like what am I doing with my life? And and in the meanwhile, like I've already gone through a lot of stuff. I lost two kids with this girl from Southside Whittier. I lost my son, to fentanyl because she was slamming too, and I lost my daughter too, and I held both of them, but they were just so tiny and like. You know what I mean? So I'm right there thinking like about them. I'm thinking about my kids, and I'm not gonna lie, homie. I was like, I got to the point where I was just banging on fools. People look at me wrong, I bang on them, hoping that they would shoot me. I'm not gonna lie, because
Damn.
that's how depressed I was. I was sad. Like I was like, I was mentally and physically broken down
Fuck.
to the point where I was ready to die.
Damn.
And yeah, it was sad. And so I remember I had like $26 in my pocket. I reach in, I smoke a cigarette, and I can't find my $20. I could find the six, but I can't find the 20. And I'm like, fuck that, drop it. And then so I go down, I go down to the second level, and some fool runs up on me, and he's dressed like a casual cat. He doesn't even look like a gangbanger,
Yeah,
and he's got regular shorts on and like regular shoes. I mean, I like the my attorney said I shouldn't really talk about this stuff, but I don't give a fuck. And so this fool runs up on me, and he's like, "Hey, you trying to break in my car?" And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, don't disrespect me like that, homie. I was like, first of all, the courthouse is right across the street, and then the police station is literally a block away. Like, who is trying to steal a car from right across the street from the Whittier courthouse?
yeah,
I mean, like, I get loped out off the dope and stuff, like, and like, yeah, whatever. I will get a car somewhere, but I'm not gonna get it from right across the street from the courthouse and the police station.
yeah,
Like, that's absurd. Like, you know what I mean? That is just straight pendejo.
yeah,
And then so he's tripping on me, and he pulls out his phone and starts recording me, and I'm like, oh shit. So I tell him that, hey, can you please stop recording me? Like I didn't give you no consent to record me, G. Like, you know what I mean? You're invading my privacy right now, and I feel uncomfortable with that. I don't like that because I don't like videos or pictures of me like that really.
yeah,
And so I therefore I was like, and then in the middle of all this, a little kid runs up from the skate park, right? He runs up from the skate park, and he taps me on the shoulder, and but I'm in the middle of it, getting into it with this guy that's recording me, and I'm like, I turn around and I'm yelling no, and I'm like, what the fuck is he? Like, who is he, boy? What the fuck you want? And it's a little kid, and I kind of feel bad. I'm like, oh shit, and I look at him like, what's up, G? What do you want, homie? And he's like, hey, Ghost. And I'm like, Ghost? Like, how the fuck you know me, dog? And he's like, you don't remember me? And I'm like, nah, not right now, homie. I'm like, come on, G. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
can't you see I'm getting into it with this fool? Like, like, what's up, homie? What you want? And he's like, oh, I was going to ask you for a cigarette. And I was like, I stopped, and I was like, and it reminded me of like me being out there in the street, not having no money, and like, me going to random people asking for a cigarette, and I didn't really recognize this youngster, so I'm like, fuck you, homie, don't trip. Here, I gave him a cigarette, but I pushed him back. I was like, get out of here, you know.
Yeah, it
I
sounds like that kid
like
had a
the
terrible
fucking
sense of
background.
self-awareness too.
Yeah, it was the. I'll tell you this much, homie. It was the most awkward situation
Yeah.
of my life, and I've been in some fucking weird ass situations, homie. Like some shit that you probably like, damn, ghost, like you, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like it tripped me out, and so I pushed the kid back, and I'm like, "What y'all, homie? I'm getting into some pleito, can't you see?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right." Well, he's like, "Let's pack him out," and I'm and I'm like, "Nah, nigga, like back up, homie, And I told him like, "Go back to the park, homie," and and I look up at this fool that's recording me, and I tell him I'm smoking my frown. And I tell him like, "What's up, G? Like, either you stop recording me, though, I'ma go over there and lay you out, homie." And that fool was all like, "Nah, that's not gonna happen." And I was like, "Oh, serio? Say no más." And I was like, "Cause I'm all prendido too, you know."
Yeah.
So I fly over to this fool real quick. Like, "What's up, dog?" I flick my cigarette and I walk over to him. I'm like, "What's up, G?" And this fool put his hand out like, "Whoa, wait a minute." And I'm like, "What the fuck? This fool smoking crack or what?" And fucking the fool reached behind his back and he pulled out a case. And like, I should have thought better, like, oh, this was strapped up. But
Yeah.
like I was kinda like I was just like so adrenaline rise that I was ready to fight this fool. Like, I was ready to throw down with him.
Yeah.
And fucking bang, he popped out the case and he pulled out a 38 snuggie.
Damn.
And bang, he got it up in my face right here. And I'm like I'm laughing at this fool, dog, like, and he's shaking with his finger on the trigger, like, "What, you don't think I won't do it?" Hell nah, you a bitch. Just saying what, like, you won't do it, dog. I was like, if you gonna do it, then do it, homie. Do me a paro and fucking whack my ass, dog. And he was like, what the fuck? He's like, you're crazy, like you're a gangster. I was like, well, whatever, homie. And then like I reached up under and I cracked this fool.
Yeah.
And this was shot me in the ear right here. Like, I don't know if you can see it really.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it's got like a little nub right there, but and Vato shot me in the ear
Damn.
and fucking like everything went white
Damn.
and like everything was green. It was like wah 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 wah
Yeah,
wah.
'cause that's
Like,
very close proximity to your eardrum, and man, that shit's fucking crazy.
yeah, and I'm like, oh shit. So my stupid ass is like this, and fucking I got blood squirting everywhere and shit, and fucking I come back to reality, right? Hold on, Spencer. I coming back to reality, and like I could see again finally. This was
Yeah.
on the floor, and fucking he's on the floor, and I'm tripping out like, damn. And but he's got his cell phone, he's got his gun, and then the package, like the case for the gun,
Yeah.
and I'm holding my ear, and my whole entire arm, like all of it, is completely red, like
Damn.
it's red like this red,
Yeah.
and I'm tripping. I'm like, damn, homie, like, like I'm thinking like, what the fuck, like did this fool sock me or like. But I remember when I was like, getting my money in. This I seen the
The
ignite.
flash.
I seen exactly.
Yeah.
I seen the bullet go off, and I felt the gunpowder like kind of circle around my face and explode because that's how close I was to the gun.
Damn.
And so I'm right there like full holding my ear, and this was right there. He's tripping and shit, and so he's on the floor though.
Yeah.
He's kind of in la la land. I could tell he's like looking like into nowhere. Like I was tripping though. And then so he wakes up and he looks at the gun and he looks at me. Hold on. Ooh,
Salud.
ooh,
Salud.
sorry about that.
No problem.
And so he looks at the gun and then he looks at me and I'm thinking like, oh hell no, like this was gonna bust on me again, G.
Yeah.
And so I'm right there, I'm like, damn. So I start booking it. and then I hear boom, and I jump immediately. And I'm looking on the floor though as I'm jumping in like midair,
Yeah.
and the fucking bullet goes between my legs and bounces off the floor, and then bounces off the wall and fucking goes past my face like
Oh
ricocheting, you know?
fuck. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like this shit was like some Matrix shit, homie, straight 007. And like everything's happening so quick though, but it's slow mo. It's
Yeah.
weird, you know? And then so I'm running, I'm booking it. I'm thinking like, all right, I already dodged this fool's bullet again. And then, I already dodged this fool's bullet from the ear and then from this last shot. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, all right, if um if this fool bust on me again, then right when he busts on me and I hear the loud boom, I'm a flip a bitch and I'm gonna turn real quick and try to dodge this bullet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm Superman, homie.
Yeah.
And fucking so I hear the loud boom of the 38 out, boom, and I'm like, oh shit. So I turned left real quick, and the fucking bullet smacked me in the back, homie.
Fuck.
Hey, it's the most awkwardest feeling of my entire life, no. So from my toes, I think. Okay, okay, hold on right now, please. I'm in the middle of an interview. Yeah, so like right now, I'm a little bit excited, but I'm in the middle of an interview. Thank you though. Okay, so yeah, Spencer, homie.
No problem.
Um, yeah, so the bullet smacked me in the back,
Yeah.
and like immediately, all the way up to like right here to my chest muscle, from my toes all the way up to my chest muscle right here, went completely numb like that, bam,
Damn.
and fucking yeah, and then so I do like a full 360, right, and I smack my elbow on the floor, and still to this day I can't feel my elbow, but
Fuck.
yeah, it's numb, and like so I'm right there on the floor, right, I'm already paralyzed, but I'm on my stomach, and I'm thinking like, you know what I mean, I'm thinking like, fuck, like, I got my back to this fool, but I'm on my stomach, but I'm on the floor, and I got that feeling like this fool's gonna shoot at me again, dog.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. So I kind of built up like a little bit of endurance and strength, and I flip over onto my back, and so now I can't move nothing, right? I can
Yeah.
barely like wiggle my hand, and I got my head like cocked up like this, like with my neck, and I'm looking at this fool talking shit. You know what I mean? Like, all right, fuck you, I get it, I got it. You did that shit, you shot that homie, I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm still talking shit, like calling this fool a bitch and shit. And this fool fucking, I'm on the floor, Z, and this fool bust on me again, dog. This fool shot at me again. Boom! And
Damn.
I moved, and the bullet went underneath my arm, and then it flew up into a Mercedes Benz behind me.
Damn. This
And
was
I'm like,
tripping.
this fool's straight tripping. This fool's trying to whack me, dog. And I'm like, fuck, homie. So I'm tripping out, and fucking this fool runs up and he puts the cuete to my head, and I'm right there. I'm just looking at this fool like I ain't saying shit now. This fool got I got the strap in my face, and then it was a trip. I'm right there looking, and then out of nowhere, all I hear is, "Hey, what the fuck?" And I look over to the side of like the parking structure, and you see some vato's head like peeking over the fucking wall. And it was a Huda. It was a Whittier PD. I got shot by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Damn.
Yeah, and this fool he wasn't in uniform. He was just like dressed like a casual person, and he didn't even identify himself as a police officer or nothing.
So first he instigates a fight with you. Doesn't let you out, like doesn't let you go. You tell him like leave me alone. He refuses to comply. He's like, nah, fuck that shit. And then after he puts the gun to your head, you crack him, and then you try to leave, and that's not enough for him. He still has to shoot.
Exactly, exactly. And meanwhile, and as I
And he's
cracked him,
yeah,
he shot me in the ear. So, and then after that, I'm running away, and then he shot, he missed, and then he shot, he got me, and then I'm on the floor, and then he shot again and missed, and fucking and then he's got the gun at my head, and then so that one fool out of nowhere comes out of nowhere. It was a trip. The feds, Whittier PD, um, and then there's like a couple ghetto birds out too, and fucking yeah. So I remember all I hear is, "Hey, what the fuck?" And then I look, and then I see some vato's head peeking over the wall, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like I'm tripping out, like damn. And fucking, and then boom, the huras start coming in left and right, like just like out of nowhere. And then this fool's got the gun pointed at my head, and and the crazy thing about all of this shit is this fool is recording everything.
Yeah.
So as this fool's gunning me down, he's recording it, and this fool's recording it that he's got the gun to my head and everything. Straight
Damn.
up, this fool is recording everything. I put that on my two dead children. He's recording everything, homie. And I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? And then so he's like, oh, whoa, 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 it's cool. I'm a cop, and you know me, like being out in Whittier,
Yeah.
like everybody knows me. There's at least one gang member from every hood out there that knows who I am.
Yeah.
If not, the whole hood knows me, and if I don't know them, the whole city knows me. That's how it is for me out there.
Yeah.
And because that's how much shit I get into. But I mean, it's not really a good thing, but it is what it is. And so even the cops know me really good. Like they know me like on point on site. So they pull up and they're like, "Oh, it's Nelson. That's my last name."
Yeah.
And they're like, "It's Nelson," and I'm like, I'm right there just thinking like to myself, like, fuck, I'm in trouble, but I'm on the floor bleeding out. Like, I can't be in trouble.
Yeah.
And the rest of the cops come in, they're like, it's Nelson. They're like, no way. And so they come over and they look at me, they're like, yep, it's fucking Nelson. And like I'm known for like going up in the stores and like taking all the Jordans and all the 501s and fucking slinging that shit, but I'm right there on the floor and shit, and then they're yelling at this fool like, hey, it's not cool. Because he was like, "Oh, it's okay," and they're like, "Nah, it's not okay."
Yeah. Fuck. He's
Like
shooting like a maniac. You know what I mean? Like you said, he hit a bystander's car. Like he's getting people involved that have nothing to do with the situation at all.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this was just fucking going maniaco and shit, and I'm on the floor bleeding, homie. I'm already paralyzed and like, and the bullet did damage to me. I still got the bullet in me.
Oh fuck.
Um, the bullet went, I guess. So, all right, so they take his gun away, and they're like, and the fucked up thing is, they roll me over and they put their one of the cops put his finger in my back to stop the
Oh
bleeding.
fuck.
Yeah, and you know what I do?
Uh,
I start talking nasty to this fool. This fool put his finger in my back, and I remember him saying like some shit like, "Oh, I could feel his bone. It's okay." I got his hole plugged up, and I'm right there talking nasty shit to him like, "Oh yeah, you like that, huh?"
all right.
Like being a weirdo, But hey, I was on the verge of dying. I don't know. That's the way I was coping with it,
Yeah.
and all maniacal and shit like a fucking idiot. But so they take this fool's gun away. And then I'm looking at this fool, and this fool I swear, he goes back on the phone while the Huda's trying to question him, and this fool starts deleting the video.
Oh fuck.
That's what I'm saying. And he starts deleting the video, and then so this was all like, oh, he tried pulling a knife on me. I did have a knife on me, but I didn't try pulling it on him because if I would have pulled it out, I would have dropped it when he shot me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that makes no sense to me. So I told him like, yeah, I got a knife on me, but so I wear really big clothes. And like around where the belt buckle is, you gotta like take the pants and then
Yeah.
like fold them like that, like to keep the crease in the front.
Yeah. The pleats.
Yeah. So I always take my knife and like fold it up in that, so like if I get pulled over, they won't see it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like that's where I have my knife. And then so they say that, and I'm on my stomach, so they had to flip me back over. They pulled out the knife and then flip me back onto my stomach so I won't bleed out. And I'm laying right there, homie, and I'm starting to like go in and out of it, kind of like I'm like, oh shit, like and I'm thinking like, oh, it's all cool, like they just gonna pick me up, they're gonna take me straight right here to the Whittier Presbyterian Hospital, which is down the street,
Yeah.
and then the ambulance is lagging it, and I'm like, fuck, like
Damn.
it's taking some time, and I'm like, fuck, homie, like what's going on,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, these fools are really trying to kill me, you know?
Damn, that's fucked
And
up.
like, I'm like, fuck, like, I'm right there thinking, like, damn, homie, like, these fools got me, and like, I'll stop. Because at first I was kind of yelling and like, I felt my heart racing. But I told myself I need to calm down because, like, if my heart keeps pumping like
Yeah, you're
crazy,
gonna
it's going to
all
squirt more
that
blood
blood.
out.
Yeah.
And then so I'm right there chilling and like, and I look up at this fool and I take like a mental photograph of this fool. And I tell myself, like, watch, homie, I'll be back. Yes, I'm the gang, and then like the ambulance, or first before the ambulance pull up, palabra on everything I love. Like, I don't know if like you're spiritual or that you believe in God or like, but the Santa Muerte pulled up on me, homie,
Yeah.
and she beautiful. I give it to her. She beautiful. No makeup, no nothing. But she don't walk. She like glides on the floor, homie. And I'm tripping out. And I'm thinking like, damn, am I dead? I'm right there like, oh, that's it. Like, so, like this will feel like, you hallucinate, whatever.
Yeah.
And she came over and like, she's tall though. And like, she grabbed me by my chin. She just touched my chin. And when she touched my chin, my whole body lifted up. And she told me, she like, don't trip me, home. Like, you're going to be fine. She said, when you get in the back of this car, though, say a prayer. Say a prayer to God, showing that you still love Him and that you believe in Him and that you got faith in Him. And I was like, all right, all right. And then boom, she disappeared, vanished. And then the ambulance pulled up. And then so they put me on the gurney and they slide me up in the back of the ambulance. And I'm in the back of the ambulance, like tripping, and I'm in pain, homie. Like I can't really
Yeah.
breathe. Everything feels cold. And I can't move nothing all the way up to my chest muscle. Like I'm
Damn.
done, homie. I feel, it's
Yeah.
numb. It doesn't even hurt. It's just numb. And so I said a prayer. I said a prayer. Like, well, I call my all my homies, my like like the kings to me. We all some kings, and then the girls are queens.
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at. We're sureños and stuff. Like that's the way I look at. We're kings and queens out here.
Yeah.
So I said a prayer for all the homies, and all the barrios and stuff like that. And then I told myself, cause I went to the Victory Outreach over there in Whittier,
Yeah.
and they told me to remember one prayer, like a scripture. It was John 3:16.
Yeah.
For God loved the world so He gave His one and only Son, for whoever believes in Him doesn't perish but have eternal, lasting, living life. And I said that just like that, John 3:16, and I passed out.
Damn.
And I passed out, and everything went black, and then I was in surgery, and they put like a big old tube, like that big, up inside my chest and
Oh
broke my
fuck.
ribs.
They broke your ribs to
So
do that?
yeah, they had to bring because I had
Oh
because
shit.
the bone in my spinal cord,
Yeah.
and then it went and bounced off my diaphragm, which is my rib cage,
God
and broke
damn.
all my ribs. And the bullet went through my it went through my lung, it collapsed it, and then it went through my liver and my kidney, and I still got the bullet inside me right now. And then right here too, they had to cut because I had meat hanging from my ear like
Oh
cartilage.
fuck. Yeah.
So they had to cut it in a circle and then like kind of like stretch the left side of my face up and then pull my ear together and sew it up.
Shit.
So yeah, so now the left side of my face kind of goes up a little bit. But so yeah, and I was in a coma too for a little bit, and but I remember when I passed down the back of the ambulance, I went to a dark place. See, I went, it was dark on me. Like, I seen a lot of demons and stuff. You know what I mean? And I seen like a lot of crazy things that were just disturbing. It wasn't even
Yeah.
like stuff that scares you. It's stuff. It's like it's disturbing. It's like I didn't even know shit like that existed. Like like I thought going to like camp and shit like that was disturbing. Nah, homie, like shit was disturbing. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then so like I wake up in the ICU, and I got a tube coming out my chest, and like, but it's a trip though. I can't move nothing from my neck down. And then so I wake up and I'm like, and I see one of my favorite nurses right there. Her name was Carmen.
Yeah.
And my favorite nurse that like she'll call me sweetie or sweetheart, and I'll be like, oh, thank you, love, like that was my nurse, like she's cool. And I wake up and I wiggle my neck because I can't move nothing else, but I just wiggle my neck and like my whole body wiggled and it hurt.
Damn.
And then she's like, "Oh shit, you what?" She's like, "Oh, she didn't say like that." She's like, "Oh, but you're up, you're up." She's like, "Don't move, do not move. It's okay. Hold on, I got you, sweetie." And then she booked it real quick, and then she came through. She slapped me up with some Dilaudid, and I was out.
Damn.
Yeah, and then after like a week, I think in the ICU, they had they took out, or a couple days after, they took out the tube out my chest,
Hmm.
and that was a weird feeling. I felt something wet, slippery, and slimy sliding out the bones of my chest.
Oh, that's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nasty, man. I was like, "Ooh, okay, let's do this."
Yeah, like I don't mean having the tube in you is weird, but like the way you're describing it, like having that feeling like come out of you, like that shit
Yeah,
sounds like it'd be a weird feeling. You know what I mean?
yeah. I felt violated in so many ways.
Damn.
Yeah, and then like, not only that, like, you know, like my chorra's not working right,
Oh fuck.
because I lost the control of my bowel movements and my urination.
Damn.
So I got these random like nurses and stuff coming in, taking out my blankets and they're whipping my shit out, and then they're shoving a tube down my dick,
Damn.
so I could go pee like
Yeah.
every 6 hours, and like I'm tripping, like I'm in there like all I'm on the medication, right?
Yeah.
And I'm right there talking shit like, oh yeah, I was like, what's cracking? This shit's fire.
Damn.
And they're over here, whipping my shit out, pushing fucking tubes down here and shit, so I go pee, and I'm over here being all maniacal, like, damn, homie, like this shit's crazy, And like, and so I started getting better, but like, then they put me in like not the intensive care unit, but it was like a level down from it,
Yeah.
but it was still like the mandatory checkup, and I had a like during the nighttime, either I would wake up and I'd be completely my whole body, the whole bed would be completely wet from sweat.
Damn.
And see, I don't know if that was because all the dope I was slamming, or it's just because of like the pain I was in,
Or
or
the
I don't know
mixture.
what it was,
Yeah.
and it was crazy, homie. And like, or if I didn't wake up like that in the middle of the night, I would wake up to like the nurses holding me down because I'd wake up screaming. Like I can't, I like to pick myself up. I gotta put my arms back and like kind of like
Yeah.
like pick myself up, and then I gotta keep my hands down for my balance because I have no balance. And I would wake up in the middle of the night sitting up, and I can't do that no more.
Damn.
And I'd be yelling and stuff, so they would be holding me down, and it was pretty crazy, homie. I would have bad dreams and stuff, and I mean, it's been like 5 months since I got shot, but it I mean, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's like it got me off dope, and it got me like kind of like back to like a little normal, but it's just like I'm so young, like I'm only 24, man.
Yeah. Well,
And go ahead.
I say what I could say is that you have the choice to make, or if you can make this disability define the rest of your life. And you could do it two ways. You could say, "Oh man, like that's it. I can't do this because I'm disabled," or you're gonna say, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna be able to do whatever I want despite this disability." You know what I mean? And it's really
Yeah, yeah,
it's really your choice, G.
yeah. And I mean, that's kind of how I take it too. Like most of the time, I'm kind of, I'm still a high. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm up in the
Yeah,
wheelchair thinking like, oh, I'm active. I'm active now. I'm a OG. I'm in a wheelchair. Like, nah, I'm just some stupid ass kid that got shot by a hoorah. Like,
yeah,
but like, no, I get what you're saying though. Like that's kind of how I take it, is like, you know what? Like, fucking, I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm gonna do whatever I can now. To make my money, and pick myself up, and and I try to pray to God as much as I can, and I got my support system too, like my friends that I grew up with, and I'm saving up some money too right now. It's just tough, like trying to find a spot and stuff, and like not only that, like taking care of myself, like it's kind of hard, but yeah, like once I get a little bit better, like for sure, like I'm gonna try to like go work with homeboys industry, or like for sure I'm gonna do something though to like I want to get into music because I could rap really good.
Yeah.
It's just I'm kind of like I'm just right here right now, but I'm out here in the desert right now trying to get it together, homie.
Oh yeah. And let me ask for any kids out there who are thinking about gang banging and getting getting high with their boys and shit. What kind of advice would you give them?
Oh man, um, you know, all right. So that saying, um, one's too many and a thousand's not enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's really true. It really is because once you take that first hit, it's too much because you get so high and it's just like and then like after it cools down, it's like, man, I want that again. And then after you're getting high so much and it's like a thousand times, it's like me after I slammed 100 times already, it's not enough for me. I got like I would do a full pull,
Mm.
and then right after I did that full pull, I would wait like 5-10 minutes after my ass cheeks get all hot and sweaty and shit. And I'll be like, fuck it, and I do another one.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's like a heart attack just waiting to happen.
Damn.
And but the like what I would tell a youngster that's like watching and stuff, because I'm pretty young myself. I'm only 24. I just turned 24. Is if you have any family, and if your mom's back at home telling you, mijo, like take out the trash, or mijo, go, go do your homework or something. I would advise you to go do that, because at the end of the day, when you're off in the streets getting high and stuff, and your mom's out there stressing it, and stress that could cause a lot of like diseases. It could cause like
Yeah.
cancer. Stress could even kill somebody.
Yeah. Heart disease, obesity, everything. A lot of things could be linked to
Yeah, blood
stress.
pressure and stuff. So and I wouldn't recommend it, because like once you get into that cycle, you don't know, even if it could be your best friend
Hmm.
that you grew up with, but if the both of you are so tweaked out, you don't know if that fool will push you over for what's in your pocket. You
Yeah.
don't know if that fool's gonna, you don't know if his mind's gonna flip real quick, just so he could fucking, like, or you tell him something and he gets mad, and that fool will fucking run up behind you and just blow your brains out.
Yeah.
Like, and to any youngster that's out there like that, I would just, life's beautiful, homes.
Hmm.
Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, life's horrible," like this and that. Like, I got a homegirl that overdosed on fentanyl and died.
Damn.
Yeah, right there in Whittier at Parnell Park. She was on the news too. But that's my homegirl, and she died, and she was only like 21, 22, man.
Yeah.
Like how would like what do you think your mom would feel if she had to pull up to the park to identify your body, or
Damn.
go to
That's
the
fucked
morgue,
up.
and you're only like 20, dog. You're only like, or there's younger kids out there dying and stuff, but it's like the world, like, yeah, you're a self individual, but what are you doing to the people that are around you that actually care about you? You know, like like and not only that, but it's like, dude, there's more to it than just rocking the pipa and trying to turn up on the block to get the cops to chase you to look cool. There's a lot more to that, you know what I mean? and
Yeah.
and once you get caught up in that cycle, and you know what I mean, and then you're thinking like, fuck, like, how'd I get here? You got there because you made those decisions,
Yup.
and it's like, like, and then you might have some friends that are succeeding and they got cars, they got their girlfriends, they got their family started, and they're already in their own house, and you're like, fuck, that's what I wanted. Why can't I have that? And then you're mad at the world, but it's not. It's, that was what you should have done, and
Yeah.
so that's why I say to any youngsters that are watching, and it's a possibility that some of these youngsters that are watching, they probably even know me, because I've been locked up, or they know me from the street, or they know me from the county, or we grew up together. But if there's somebody that's watching that knows me, or they don't know me, and they're young, or they're watching us, because you're interviewing me,
Yeah.
I would just say, get it together, homie. And you know, if you're not gonna make your heifer proud, then make yourself proud.
Yes, sir.
And try to, I would say, try to like indulge in school, and just like try to get in touch with with God and stuff, or your God, or whatever, whatever your passion is to your higher power, like, just for sure, because it's real. It's real. Our gods are real. I believe in like kind of more than one God, like the way I'm knowledge and stuff with like the Aztec culture and stuff like that. But you know, like I would just say, get in touch with your gods, and or your God, however you deal with it, and get your money right, and just support yourself, support your family, and just trust me, the streets are not worth it, because like I'm 24 now, I can't even wipe my own ass. You know
Damn.
what I mean? I'm paralyzed. I don't want to. I wouldn't wish this upon no. I mean, yeah, enemy or whatever. Okay, yeah, that's being childish though. But another youngster like me, nah, man. It's painful. It hurts. It's depressing, and it's like it's all fun and games when you're out there kicking up dust with the homies and stuff. Yeah, well, it's not fun and games when you get paralyzed and you can't do nothing about it, and you're just stuck in the corner,
Yeah.
and like nobody could do nothing for you, because like they're all like too busy about what they got going on and stuff, and you're right here like, fuck, what can I do with myself? Nothing. And it's like that's like what you were saying, is like it all depends on you, and then, like, or well, me, and like, and how I deal with it. But yeah, I mean, I would just say, don't do it, because
Yeah.
prime example, I used to tweak it a lot. I used to jack cars. I used to get locked up, and then I got shot, and now I'm like I'm like a little bed potato. I can't do nothing.
Damn. Yeah, and one thing I just want to tell everybody is normally we wait for somebody's like to make a turn change in their life before I interview them. I made the exception with you because I think this is an important story to tell. Like you just said right now, you're paralyzed and there's a lot of things that are changing in your life, right? One thing that I did notice to our conversation is that there is still a lot of growth that you need to go through. And I hope that you really do like embrace that growth. Cause you know what I mean? Like there's more for you in this life. You know what I mean? Like this isn't the end. This is just a new
Yeah,
chapter. And I really hope that you succeed and you know take that and you run with it, man.
yeah. Hey, thank you, man, and thank you for taking your time, and listen to my little crazy stories and stuff. They're all over the place, but like my main thing was to talk about my story and stuff, but to share how it is to get shot, and for those youngsters out there to just don't do it, because I'm going through it right now, and like it. Yeah, I thought it was fun and stuff, but and then when I got shot, I was like, "Oh, I'm OG. I'm in a wheelchair." Nah, man, it's not fun. It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pain. It's not when you first get shot, you might not feel it, but after it settles in, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it to those youngsters out there. That's the main point of this interview, is to tell those youngsters out there, hey, you know, if you're out there thugging it, slanging dope, thinking you gangster because you got a pocket rocket, or you out there stealing cars with the big homies, well, when you catch a hot one, come join the club, But if you don't, I hope you get it together, because life is beautiful, homie.
Yes, it is.
And, you know, do something with yourself.
So just want to thank you for your time, G. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Cricket. I appreciate it, and God bless, and buenos noches, buenos tardes, buenos días.
Much love, G. And with that, we out. Peace.
All right, peace.